The small car category of Drive's Car of the Year is always a hotly contested one, and this year won't be any different, judging by the depth of talent. The carryover champ is the Ford Focus, based on its all-round ability, but there's a new Corolla this year, now available as a sedan, so it's got a proper boot instead of a hatchback. And then there's the car everybody's talking about, the all-new Mazda3, complete with its Sky Active technology. And then we've got a bit of a wild card, the Skoda Rapid. It's kind of half hatchback, half station wagon, but like any of the cars here, it's also half a chance to take home the trophy.
Make no mistake, the new Corolla is a big car. In fact, it looks and feels about as big as the first Australian-made Camry of 25 years ago or so. So it has plenty of space inside and a massive boot. But the sedan layout lacks the flexibility of the other hatchbacks on test here. The driveline is also a bit behind the game in 2014, and the Corolla has the flattest feeling and sounding engine here. The CVT transmission too comes in for some flack. And why has Toyota added the option of artificial gears or steps to the transmission when this defeats the purpose of a CVT in the first place? The Focus is still a great car to drive with a clutchless manual gearbox that's smooth and claims to boost efficiency. The engine too is a real sweetie, although it might be a little bit thirstier in everyday use. But if anything, the Ford seems to be falling behind the pack in terms of its cabin layout and standard equipment. The button to manually select gears, for instance, is about as badly placed as it could be. And where's the reversing camera? Maybe the world has just moved on a little in the last 12 months. Lots and lots of standard equipment, including a panoramic roof in our test car, will help the Skoda's cause in showrooms. But it's also a good car to drive with a snappy little turbocharged engine and a clutchless manual with no less than 7 forward gears. The packaging is interesting too, with a great rear seat and a front armrest that actually works and doesn't get in the way of the other controls. But we found the ride to be a little bit harsh on broken surfaces, and while that gives the car a sporty feel, it might be uncomfortable during the daily grind. The Mazda3 lacks parking sensors and there's no climate control air conditioning, but it makes up for that in other ways by offering a reverse camera, satellite navigation, and the option of autonomous braking, which is the next big thing in road safety. The layout of the car means it's a bit tight in the rear seat, but again, it claws back points in the way it drives. Essentially, this is the car of all four that best combines ride quality with handling and throws in beautifully weighted steering as a bonus. The engine is sharp, the automatic transmission is smooth, and there's also the promise of brilliant fuel economy.
In the end, the small car category threw up a really interesting set of decisions, including an absolute punch-up over the minor placings. But one thing was clear, and that was that the Mazda3 had the goods to take out the trophy this year. To demonstrate how competitive this category is, what you need to know is that the reigning champ, the Ford Focus, and the Skoda finished equal second. We couldn't separate them. That left the Corolla fourth, but it also left the Mazda3 on the top step of the podium. And it got there by virtue of a combination of things. It's not the biggest car in the rear, and the servicing promises to be a little more expensive than the other cars. But what this thing does is everything that people would expect and want from a modern small hatchback, but it does it with quite a bit of flair. It's actually a really entertaining car to drive. It's beautifully made, it looks good, it feels good, and at the price, well, we couldn't go past it.